What's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla at a player.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Ponchak. That's right, the Potsy and Tino Show. Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. Actually, looks like we went live after it actually played the song, which is kind of weird because, it's not like my internet's not working correctly or anything. We're doing okay there, but and it says that I'm the live viewer of the show right now.
Okay.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Tino, we had July 4th this past weekend.
Hell yeah.
And we always start this show off with a little segment we call
What's Up With You?
What is up with you? So I'm going to go ahead and let you start, sir.
So I did. So Friday. What did I do Friday? I think I got bored because you were doing something, and I was like,
you contacted me and you said, when are we going to the movies?
Yes.
And I said, whenever. And you were like, bitch, because you contacted me like Saturday about it. It wasn't even Friday that you contacted. I was at work.
Oh, so Friday I got bored. I went to the beach. I went not to the beach. I went to the movies. And then Saturday I had to get up, did some shit around the house, and I had a show. No, I had a class. That's right. I had class that I facilitate, and then I got that done. Chilled for a little bit. Then I had to do a show out in Fuquay at the Mason Jar Brewery. It was hot as balls because we were outdoors, but it was still good. We had a good time. Sunday, I pretty much chilled. I went and hung out with my friend.
You went to the movies again?
No, yesterday I went to the movies again.
Sunday. You didn't invite me to that either.
Well, first of all, every time I invite you out this way, oh no, because you can't drink and come back. That was
That's fair.
Yeah.
July 4th.
And B, it was my guitarist, and he brought me the ticket for my birthday. He said, you want to go to the movie? So I didn't even buy the ticket. So he paid. So we went and saw Elvis, which was actually that was a good movie. That was a good movie. I'm just going to say, because Tom Hanks played Colonel Parker, whatever his name is.
Colonel Parker, yeah.
I always think of them WCW every time I say that. So, everybody, Tom Hanks is America's sweetheart. Dude played a dick. You hated Tom Cruise. You hated the way they played Parker. They had him like he was like this swindler, and he's a carny and all that stuff. But he played that role, and he was a dick. But it was an excellent movie. It was an excellent movie. And then got up today, went to work. Building opened back up after renovations, so we went in there. They did the welcome back party. Everybody had a potluck, and then I did a few intakes from the building, and then came home. And wife's coming home today. I'm excited. Hadn't seen her in 2.5. What's up, Michael? I'm just priced.
We got Michael Turner in the audience.
Figures. That's what's up my way. I hadn't seen her in about 2.5, almost 3 weeks. So she'll be home here in a couple hours. So I'm excited. Her and my son are coming home after being in New York. So that's what I was like. I told her, I want to do this. And so I can be ready for them to at least hang out, because I know they're going to be tired, but I'm going to hang out with them a little bit before they pass out and help them.
Well, and then it'd be like, we have to work tomorrow too.
Yeah.
So,
So, so that was the excitement of my weekend. I bought fireworks. I was going to do just a few fireworks I was going to set off last night when I got home. And then yesterday, Nicole is like, well, Matthew didn't have any fireworks up there where he was. They saw the fireworks, but he didn't have any to set off himself. So I didn't set off any of the ones I bought. So me and him are going to go out there and set them off maybe tomorrow night. Thursday, we'll go out there and set some off.
Just in case the police are listening, Tino is not setting off fireworks tomorrow night.
No, I mean, it's not. They're North Carolina. They're not illegal.
Oh, they're the.
Yeah. They're not. They're not shooting up in the air. They're not going in the air.
Okay.
You'll hear the pops, but we'll do it early enough to where it's not really bothering the neighbors or anybody. I'll make sure of that. Like maybe do about 7, 8, just when it gets dark enough so we can see them.
So this weekend I watched a lot of TV. I actually had a pretty fun weekend, man. So Friday, Stranger Things came out with its last 2 episodes.
Haven't watched those. I'm waiting for them to come home and watch it with them.
So I watched both of those. The second one is like 2 hours and 25 minutes long.
I thought they were both 2 hours long.
No, the first one's like 1 hour and 35 minutes. So I mean, it's a long episode, but it's like okay, But the other one was almost unbearable with how long it was. Yeah. It's good, but I probably would have made that 3-hour long episodes instead of 2 episodes, one being 1 hour 30 and one being 2 hours and 30. Maybe even like I guess that's 4 hours between the two. I probably would have made it 4 episodes. That way you get bathroom breaks. But so I watched that. I watched Amazon Prime has obviously they've got The Boys. So I watched the second to last episode of this season of The Boys, and dude, if you have not watched it, that episode changes everything.
All right.
So if you have watched it, then you know what I'm talking about.
I haven't, but I've heard rumors, but I didn't want to read any spoilers or anything. So
then on Prime, there were all these advertisements for this show called The Terminal List, which has Chris Pratt in it. So I was like, well, okay, I'll give that a try. And Friday night, I was sitting there watching it, and then all of a sudden, like it was like I woke up the next morning, and it said that I'd finished it, and I didn't fit. Like I fell asleep during it.
Oh,
so I had to go back and actually like figure out what episode I'd actually gotten to and everything. But I finished all 8 episodes of that this weekend. It was good. Like if you like Born Identity meets like SEAL Team 6 type stuff, it's good. It's all about a guy who comes back from overseas. He's a Navy SEAL, but he comes back from overseas, and everybody in his platoon except for one guy and him are dead. Okay, and he's got a massive concussion, or at least he thinks it's a massive concussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course there's a conspiracy and everything else that happens. So it's really like it's a really good story. The thing I kind of got annoyed with is that Chris Pratt can't figure out what his accent's supposed to be. And I mean, he does it in Guardians of the Galaxy. He did it in Community. Like
did he have an accent in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, yeah, kind of. But like
supposed to be,
I don't know, some like mid Southern accent. Like it's got a little bit of a drawl to it or whatever. But anyway, so like his character here, like I guess he's supposed to be in like Alabama or something, or he's supposed to be from Alabama. But oh, hey Joe.
So
Joe Lowe's in the audience. This now okay. So this now. Oh, you know what it's saying when I click the viewer button? It's saying that it's my page because it's now saying that there's 2 viewers, but they're both me. So it's not actually me. It's just people watching the page. So I really like the show. I don't know how they leave it open for a second season, but there's like 4 or 5 books in the series. So like obviously they're going to be able to make more seasons out of it if Chris Pratt wants to, and of course he's like executive producer on it. And he wanted to look badass, so that so he'll be back for at least another season, I'm sure. Then Saturday, I went out to Mystic Distillery with Terrence and CJ. So we all went and did the bourbon tour. to tour the distillery. We got our cocktail, and then we bought a couple drinks, and kind of just chilled out and had a good time over there. And then when I got done that, Money in the Bank was Saturday night. So my buddy Mark, who's been on the show once or twice, actually came over and he watched Money in the Bank with me, even though he's not a wrestling fan. He's like, sure, Potsy, I'll come over, I'll watch it because I ain't got nothing better to do. So I let him try the $150 bottle of bourbon I bought. And I got another bottle as well, so I'm sipping on that right now. Michael, we're going to talk about that pay-per-view because sure, it had good elements, but there were a lot of things that were very questionable about like outcomes in that. And then Sunday and yesterday, I didn't really have anything planned, so like I got up, I finished watching the Terminal List on Sunday, I think is when I actually finished watching it. I ended up watching the movie The Protege. It's got Maggie Q in it, and it's got Samuel L. Jackson and Michael Keaton. And it's basically like Samuel L. Jackson is like a contract killer that finds things and finds people, and then he just kills them because that's like what he's really good at doing in movies now. Even though he's like 74 years old, right. But he carries it much better than Morgan Freeman does. I'll say that. So anyway, like Maggie Q in the movie, if you haven't seen it, he basically finds her in South Korea as like a child, and he just like takes her and like teaches her how to do what he does.
Okay.
And throughout the whole movie, like you see flashbacks of when she was the kid to kind of figure out like why she is the way that she is. And dude, so basically she works at like an antique store, right? But it's like an antique bookstore. And Michael Keaton just randomly walks in at one point and he goes, "Hey, I'm looking for this book." And she's like, "Well, that's really funny because there's only one copy known to exist and it's worth about, $300 million or whatever." And he's like, so I shouldn't look for that book for my girlfriend. And she's like, "Not unless you want to pay like $300 million for it." And he goes, "Well, do you have anything else in mind?" And she opens up the bookcase and she pulls out a book and she hands it to him. He's like, "I'm not familiar with this one." And she's like, "This is like the first collection of Edgar Allan Poe stuff." But he didn't write it under Edgar Allan Poe. He wrote it under an assumed name, kind of like Richard Bachman, and Stephen King. And he looks at it and he goes, "Oh, well, okay. Well, like, what would you give this to be for?" Right. And she goes, "About $267,000. And then he hands it back and she goes, "Maybe a bracelet for her." And he's like, "She does have exquisite wrists." So the funny thing about like the reason why I'm explaining it like this is because the dynamic between Michael Keaton and Maggie Q is so good because he's like the Bruce Wayne Michael Keaton in this, right? So he's super clever and everything, but he's also one of the contract killers. So the two of them are pitted against each other through the whole movie, but there's like serious sexual tension between them. And the script is just really, really clever. Like he's, he does all that and he goes, "Hey, I'm going to give you my business card because I find you interesting. I don't find you intriguing. I find you interesting, but I'm going to give you my card. And I just want to know how long is it going to take for you to call me?" And she goes, 27 minutes. And he goes, 27 minutes. That sounds like kind of a long time. And she's like, "Well, I've got to figure out like whether or not you're actually interesting to me, whether or not I determine that you actually get the time of my day." And then, and he goes, "Okay, so that'll take about 6 minutes." And she's like, "Yeah." And then the other 21 minutes will be me playing hard to get. Right. So then he leaves and she doesn't call him. She's like, "Why is this guy, like whatever's going on?" Then all of a sudden, like all this crazy shit happens and like her house has been rummaged through and she goes back to the building, back to the bookstore. And there's people, basically going by with machine guns, just like shooting up the place. Right. So then they capture her, they put her in a jail cell, basically like a old school, like castle dungeon, if you will. And Michael Keaton walks in and he goes, "That was a lot more than 27 minutes, like."
Okay.
So, but the movie was actually very interesting and very fun because, like I said, the people that were in those roles just made it worthwhile. Kind of like how The Hitman's Bodyguard, you've got Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson both playing off each other so well that it just works. Yeah. Although I didn't really think that the second one worked as well. But anyway.
It was funny. But anyway.
So then, I got done that and I was like, all right, I got to get out of the house. I got to do something because I was doing laundry and whatever, like normal bullshit that you do on the weekend. And I was like, I got to do something else. Well, my publisher reached out to me and he said, do you know anybody that can color some covers? And I'm like, hello. Like I've been like posting all these images online. I know Joe saw the Captain America that I posted. I'll show everybody here in a second. But I'm like, I could color these covers for you. And he's like, yeah, how much would you charge? And I'm like, okay, I just want to build the resume a little bit. So $25 a piece, as long as it's less than like 3 characters on the pages. And he's like, why is that? I was like, because as soon as you're like coloring like 5 and 6 characters, it takes a lot longer, So I can't show everybody the covers that I did, but I did post like two images on my Instagram. This one is Steve McNiven's X-Men. Right? You can see it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's good. I like the other ones you sent me too.
Yeah. I can't show those yet, but then I did this one.
That one was awesome.
Yeah. The artwork,
I think that's one of the best ones you've done in a while.
The artwork itself is awesome. Like here, I'll show everybody the actual like artwork because McNiven's
art, right?
What's that?
That's yours, right?
No, I didn't do that one. What the hell is that spot on there? Hold on. There's like a big spot on the artwork now. No, what the hell is it doing? I gotta fix this. Fix it now. Damn it. Hold on.
If you don't calm the fuck down.
All right, now I fixed it. So this is what the artwork looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it is a very detailed, like highly awesome looking piece, right? So that's why, when I colored it, I was like, everybody's gonna sit here and say that this is awesome, like the coloring and everything, but like, and it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I purposely did Captain America for July 4th, right? By the way, did you leave apple pie out for him on July 3rd?
No.
Well, see, that's why you didn't get that's why you didn't get a gas card.
What? What?
Well, you leave apple pie out on July 3rd for Captain America, and he leaves you presents.
I never heard that. I've never heard that.
Dude, I'd almost prefer to stick with that idea than Santa Claus on Christmas.
No, bitch. You go to hell.
Why?
Well, you die.
Santa Claus is German.
Damn it. But Christmas is my favorite time of the year, and Santa's part of that.
Yeah, no. So's Krampus. He's also German.
I didn't grow up with Krampus. I grew up with Santa Claus bringing me shit and taking his fat ass down my chimney. I can never figure out how he got through the little bitty pipe into the chimney.
Well, yeah. I could only imagine how he get down my chimney because my chimney only has like a space like this big that right. Like actually exhausts. So,
but he does every year, and he eats the cookies and the reindeers nibble on the carrots and drink the warm ass milk that my kids leave out at damn 9 o'clock. So when Santa comes at 3 a.m, it's room temperature milk.
So there's a Well, see that's why you leave out bourbon and apple pie for Captain America.
Oh no,
because room temperature bourbon is perfect. So this one right here as well that I colored is actually a design for Bjorn, like a Viking story that Troy, the guy that worked on Mandalorian with me, that he was like, Rob, stop being a mopey son of a bitch when I was being a mopey son of a bitch. He was like, stop being a mopey son of a bitch and start laying out this comic book for me. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, start doing some artwork or something just to, stop being mopey. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I laid out the whole thing, and then he drew him. So I was like, fuck, the other day I was like, fuck it. I got the black and white piece. I'll go ahead and color it, And then, like I said, I colored. I'm still technically coloring the two covers for Keen Spot, but it's interesting, man, because like I'm gonna say right now, like 2 months ago, I wasn't even coloring my own work. Like I was drawing. Well, like the stuff you saw me on my iPad and stuff, I would color, but it was like basic coloring. Like there wasn't a lot of like detail and stuff in the color. But now you see me like adding like lens flare and like all that, and it's basically just because I keep learning more and more. But the one thing that I really like adding to the artwork, and I'll just show, like I'll start a new one without any actual image on it. But the thing that I like to do with it is this, where okay, so we start with this purplish blue background, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like adding this to the background. It's called a nebula. Okay. And I just find like a middle of the road color that I want the nebula to be. And then it's too small.
Michael said he leaves stuff out for Batman.
Batman's rich. Why would you leave anything out for Batman? But see, like,
oh yeah, that is cool.
So I just like doing that to the backgrounds, and like the Captain America one looks like an explosion behind him, so it's like, yeah, like so I like doing that and just going from there with it and seeing like where it goes. Like I said, the Captain America, like it's just got that big nebula in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it literally looks like he just blew up a tank, like so it kind of works. But anyway, so obviously watched Money in the Bank on Saturday. Yesterday really didn't do too much except for like sit here and work on these colors, which the interesting thing about it is like the two covers, like the Captain America, I actually Twitch streamed it. So I wasn't able to put sound on because I was sitting at a restaurant that had music going. So because of licensing rights and all that other stuff, I can't sit there and have sound on. But we talk about my Twitch stream every so often, Rob Potsy Potchak. And now that I know how to just live stream the artwork, like you're probably going to see me doing that a lot more often, as well as still, putting the time lapses up on TikTok and whatever else. But like as I'm working on stuff, as long as it's like test stuff like the Captain America, I'm going to be like, you'll be able to watch and like ask questions, in the chat and everything else while I'm doing it. So I thought that was pretty cool that I figured out how to do that. And then I went back to work today.
Yeah, me too.
And then I worked the late shift. So last night I was sitting there going, I got to find something to watch because I got to keep myself up later.
Raw,
so that what?
Did you watch Raw?
Yeah, but I think I fell asleep during it.
So, I'm gonna stay up later. I'm gonna fall asleep during Raw.
Well, that's the problem, right? Like it always happens like that. Like, dude, I don't remember the last time that I stayed up all 3 hours. Because here's the thing. Thursday, I'll go ahead. Like we always talk about what's up with us. Thursday, I go to the actual like sleep apnea center to get fitted for my frogman mask and whatever, my elephant trunk. So I get to try them all on, figure out which one feels like it's going to work the best for me, whatever kind of thing, So I get to do that Thursday at like 8:20 in the morning. And then I got to work till 8:00 that night.
Wow.
Though I am trying to go see Thor tomorrow.
I thought it was July
8th. So they'll do the Thursday night showings, but I'm going to try to see it tomorrow.
It's going to be out tomorrow at a theater?
No.
Okay. I don't want to know.
You know how I go to see movies, man.
I say that
I like an empty theater that's just me watching movies. And like that's how I plan to go see Thor. Because I gotta tell you, I've read one review already, and obviously it was a non-spoiler filled review, and they're talking about how good it is, but every commercial I see for this Thor movie makes me think that it is super, super corny.
And it still might be good though. The corny's not bad.
Yeah, but like I felt Ragnarok had the right amount of corn.
Mm-hmm.
And this one looks like it takes Ragnarok and it's like, hey, everything that people really liked about Ragnarok is all we're gonna do this movie. So what's his face? The big rock guy, the one voiced by the director, Taika Waititi. Like, I have a feeling he's gonna be in there a lot more.
Mm.
And I'm gonna be like, okay, the reason why that character worked so well is because he wasn't supposed to be in the movie very long. Like, oh, we're gonna go ahead and do like this, man. Yeah, that'll be great. Like, okay, cool. But that's all I need to see of him.
Well, just because you don't like it. See, this is where you don't like it, so you think it sucks and everybody won't like it.
I didn't say I don't like it. I said it's good for the amount that we got of it.
In your opinion.
Hey, I have my own YouTube show. I'm going to say my opinion matters. Oh, one last thing, and then we'll hop into wrestling, okay? So last week, I posted on Instagram a drawing I did. It was a 4-minute Batman drawing, right? So it was it's what they call a bust drawing. It's the head and like this part right here, It only saved 90 seconds of the video. Okay, so Instagram for the reel only put up 90 seconds, and it didn't time lapse it or anything else. So it literally showed it in regular time, with the sound basically being nothing but the pencil and the pen actually hitting the paper, because I was at work when I was doing it. Because I was actually on break, but that's why that's why I only had 15 minutes to do it, and I finished it in 4 minutes. So anyway, though, here, this to me is just nutso. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my Instagram. I'm going to show you if it'll pull up my Instagram. What the hell is this thing doing? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I pull up my Instagram. Okay, I'm going to go to Reels. Well, I'm going to update it because you see that number in the top right corner on my screen?
Yeah, 45-25.
45-25. So I posted this drawing, and the whole thing of me drawing it, and it now has 4,500 views. I don't know why.
How many times you watch it?
I mean, I'm watching it again right now, but
44.99.
So no, shut up. No, it actually tells you how many accounts and everything have actually watched it. If I go into insights, and it's been watched for 4,525 times. It's been played or it's been
the banners are the way.
It's been seen by 4,597 different accounts.
Cool.
So I don't know how only 45-25 have watched it, and it's been seen by 70 more accounts. Maybe they just didn't watch it. I don't know. But what's crazy about it is it's been saved by 10 people. It's been shared by 8 people. It's been liked by 125 people. And I'm like, it literally is just me blue line penciling a Batman drawing. And it's like, and it's like, okay, there it is. Now, I posted the Captain America reel, which I even put some cool music on because it's like Captain America First Avenger music and everything. Boom, 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 you know, and 125 views. No music, nothing, just random shit, Batman drawing, whatever. I like the drawing. The drawing came out good, but 4,500 views. And dude, what's weird about it is it literally has been like 400 views a day.
Wow.
Like I don't get it. Like the first couple days, all of a sudden, like I look at my insights, you know, because my Instagram account is a professional account. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, it got like something got like 1,200 views. What the hell got 1,200 views? Like I only get like 25 likes on shit, you know, like I'll even go ahead and pay for an ad from time to time to sit there and go, hey, I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con. This way that blasts out to anybody that's going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, you know, and that'll get 30 likes. You know, and it'll be like, oh, well, that's wonderful. Okay, awesome, you know. But then I just randomly post this me drawing Batman, and it's got 4,500 different views on it now. So Michael Turner doesn't know if the new Thor is going to be good either.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Tino, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, real quick, let everybody know, the few of you who are in the chat. And I've already told Rob, so I don't know what he's going to do next week. I will be at the beach for the week because my birthday is next Friday the 15th, and we usually go to the beach the week of my birthday. So I will be gone.
I mean, you can log in.
I can't promise you I'll be near a laptop at the time we log in. It's
Use your
family
phone.
time. It's family time.
You should have the family on. It'll be like the Rock celebration birthday event, you know, on Raw. We'll do a Tino family, like we'll do the roast of Tino.
Oh, whatever.
I bet if you tell Nicole that we'll do the roast of you, that she would actually want to be on the show.
No, Nicole's gonna be glad I'm gonna be off the computer for the week. Because I do Monday classes, Wednesday classes. I do this on Tuesday. I think she's gonna be glad to have me in the evening. Yeah. Told you, dude, family first.
Well, the unfortunate thing there is that the week after is San Diego Comic-Con.
Ah, shit. So when I come back, you'll be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
So my plan though is I'll obviously have my iPad with me. So as long as the internet,
you'll be busy too. You're not gonna have time to. Oh, let me.
So Tuesday night. So Tuesday is actually when I'm flying in, but Comic-Con doesn't start until Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And Comic-Con's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. California time. So I mean it's 9 p.m. to midnight
here.
Yeah. So Tuesday, like the only thing I'll be doing is checking into the hotel, maybe going to the pool. You know, I may actually be meeting people from my work because my job actually has a base out of San Diego, and you know my personal boss and another member of my team are actually based out of San Diego. So I'm trying to have dinner with them. And the only other thing I'm trying to do is that Wednesday before the show, because like I said, the show starts at 6 o'clock at night. That Wednesday before the show, I'm trying to set up an actual comic book signing at a local comic shop in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to reach out to them about doing that.
Do you see what's going on in the chat?
No, I don't.
So let's see.
Looks like we're all going to the beach.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Michael? That sounds like a great idea. Let's all go to the beach. We'll all be on the Potsy and Tino show, and it'll be the roast of Tino Gray.
Now, if you all come to the beach, that'd be different.
I'll come out to the beach.
It did sound like a birthday invite to me. That's funny.
I'll switch. So my late shift is Tuesday, unfortunately, so I won't be able to be there Tuesday afternoon or whatever. But I could switch it to Wednesday. And then I could drive back Wednesday morning.
Oh, damn.
Wouldn't that be funny? I drive down to the beach so I could be there by 8 o'clock, and then I leave the next morning so I could be back at work at 11. Anyways, the weeks are pretty interesting. Chris Edge actually reached out to me as well, and he had a story idea, And what was funny about it was he goes, you're more of the literary guy than me, knowing like if this story's already been told. And he had a really cool concept. And I was like, it's a Twilight Zone episode with William Shatner. And he goes, like exactly the same? And I'm like, no, but like it doesn't have to be exactly like you just need to change it up enough to where your idea. But I was like, but I was like, so when I was in Charlotte, a couple weekends ago, I couldn't sleep. So I mean, I was up for like, I literally was up like 46 hours in a row, and during that time, like I'm sitting there, like I turned on the TV because you want that white noise to try to go back to sleep or whatever. And Sci-Fi Channel had the old Twilight Zone on it. So like the 1950s Twilight Zone episodes. And
what's it, Rod Sterling? No.
Rod Sterling.
Yeah.
Rod Sterling, yeah. You're entering a parallel dimension similar to your own.
That shit used to freak me out when I was a kid.
Well, dude, I love that show. I
did too, but it freaked me out. I was like,
have you watched the Jordan Peele version?
Oh, the Twilight Zone?
Yeah, on Paramount Plus.
No, I didn't know he had one on Paramount Plus.
There's 20 episodes now, dude. Oh, and Evil's back, and I'm caught up on Evil.
Okay.
You know what I don't like about what they're doing with Evil this season? Okay, who's my favorite character on Evil? You've watched some episodes.
Did I?
Yeah, it's the one about the priest and how they.
Oh yeah.
And you hadn't watched it, and then all of a sudden you send me a text message. It's like, this shit's fucking awesome.
I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes. I need to go back and watch it. I fell off, but it was good, wasn't it? The cop you like? Was it the cop you like?
No, I like the evil guy. I like Michael Emerson in it. The guy that's actually a demon that is like he's a psychologist who tries to get court cases overturned for the girl that's in, But this season, he's been such a background character.
Oh,
like I'm like we're 4 episodes into the season, and it's probably only a 10-episode season because that's everything that Paramount Plus does. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why is he literally only in like 2 scenes an episode when he's like the best character on the show?
Well, maybe they're building up to something.
I don't know. They just did this really cool episode where the latest episode actually, like, as truckers drive down the highway, if it's after a certain time at night, all of a sudden like the radio goes crazy and like auto tunes itself to AM 666. And then you see like these red eyes following your car. And it happens for 20 miles and then it stops. Right? But when the group is there trying to figure out what it is and everything, like all of a sudden their car shuts down. Like the battery cuts out. It's like, burp, and the car just like shuts off and rolls off the road. And
no.
It's so good, dude. Although, that pissed me off because I have this horror idea about driving off on a specific exit. And this all happens on exit 13A on I-95 in Philadelphia, So, but they figured out what was going on with that and everything. But like I said, Leland, my favorite character in the entire show, is like a background character now, and I can't stand it because he's so good at being that piece of shit. Anyways. All right. We ready?
Yeah.
Which show do you want to start with?
I mean, usually Tuesday is.
I didn't watch NXT.
You never watch NXT because I don't know why you.
I will after we get off here tonight, I will probably watch tonight's because I didn't realize that it was Cameron Grimes versus Braun Breaker for the NXT title.
See, because you stopped watching.
Because I did. You're absolutely right. And also now I'm a little more interested because Triple H says that he's back, although he's not been there.
The one thing I didn't like about last week. So last week they just built up a lot for this week's for the
Great American Bash.
What I didn't like was the way that they got rid of Two Dimes on NXT. Did you hear about this?
They killed him. Like so since Vince McMahon's car blew up, the very next night was when they found Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
They have never played with the idea of swimming with the fishes. But 2 dimes after they laid the guy off in real life.
So they're like, yeah, we're going to cut to whatever, the dawn. So him and the other dude are on a bridge. And no, first it was like a black screen. Then you hear, spoosh, and then they pan open. And they're standing over the bridge and they're looking over it. He said, that he turned on me after all I did for him. Well, now he's sleeping with the fishes. And he said, and I gave him this. And a couple of weeks ago, when they won the pay-per-view and they had to combine the 2 families, Phantasma, Legado, and all that, he given his guys all these gold Rolexes. So we had 2 dimes Rolex. He goes, yeah, and take that. And he threw it in the water. And then they're talking shit. And then a cell phone rings. And he pulls it up. He goes, we can't get rid of this guy. And he answers the phone. I guess it must have been somebody for 2 dimes. He goes, I hate that guy. And he throws that in the water too. They're just throwing shit off a bridge. And then they just walk away.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh.
So you got Cameron Grimes actually going for the NXT title. And like I had said long ago, I never thought that he'd actually get to that level.
And the way they're building him now, unless they're planning on calling.
Sorry, if you keep hearing, let me stop you there. If you keep hearing binging and bonging,
yes,
because
sounds like you got emails or something coming through.
No, it's I told you know what? I'm just gonna unplug it. Yeah, there we go. So the microphone that I use is a Yeti X. It's a very I think it's a $200 microphone, right? And yet, for whatever reason, my PC sits there and goes, does not recognize. Like last week worked perfectly fine when you and I were sitting in the same room and everything else. Today, I nudge my computer and it's like USB not recognized. And it's like bum 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 bum. So anyway, like it's unplugged now.
I thought you were just getting emails. That's why I didn't say anything. It's been doing it.
No, and I knew it was doing it, and it's probably disrupting how you guys hear me. So I apologize for that.
No, it's not disrupting you. I'm just like I'm like, damn, he's getting a lot of emails. So
I do get a lot of emails.
Yeah, but what was I saying? What were we saying? Oh, unless they're giving a call Breaker up, the way they're built, because you know Cameron, when he started that to the moon and he won everything, he was like that comic fool. Well, these last few weeks,
he's not.
He's showing a mean streak. He still does the to the moon, but he's not a lot about all that comedy shit anymore. And he's been more aggressive and more. Wow, that's fucked up. So he's been more aggressive. So if they're gonna call him up, stop it. If they're gonna stop it.
One more time.
Why?
It's so funny. He's just watching him as he spins.
So shut up.
I'm sorry.
So if they call him up, Grimes might win that thing.
Although they might call Grimes up after he loses to Braun Breaker.
Too.
Like, because the one thing we have to say about that guy, and I don't remember what his indie name was. You might remember it, but he worked for the Hardys. Because he's from North Carolina.
It was something, and he worked. Was it Impact?
Yeah.
I know he was like something caveman for a while.
Yeah, but obviously, like he went with the whole GameStop to the moon, Dogecoin shit, and all that, but like he was one of those guys that I thought Vince McMahon was never going to see anything in, and since Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and everybody else have been more involved with NXT, like he was one that I thought was going to get let go like first, but no, we get guys like Hit Row and Keith Lee and. Like all those guys get let go instead, and you're like, what the fuck? Like
he was going by his real Trevor Lee. He was going by his real name, Trevor Lee.
So it amazed me to see the transformation, because obviously they put him with $1 Million Man for a little while.
And it was good then. I think that's when he started. I've always liked him. You didn't really. And then the $1 Million Man.
Those vignettes with the $1 Million Man just made hit. I mean, he became worth $1 million.
Damn you, DiBiase!
Damn you, DiBiase!
Yeah. Yes.
And then all of a sudden, DiBiase finally looked at him and kind of took him under his wing, and he's like, "Kid, you gotta stop letting this guy sit there and treat you like crap, and you gotta go out there and you gotta win." And Cameron Grimes did. And then when 2.0 started, I really thought that Cameron Grimes wasn't going to last, because like he was like the last of the old school guys almost, and they cut his hair when nobody was allowed to touch his hair before. And, like
beard up,
they trimmed his beard. I mean, they made him look nice, but it's kind of like Sami Zayn, nobody thought that white meat babyface from NXT was ever going to be a good heel. And Sami Zayn's the second best heel in the business right now in terms of WWE. Like it's Roman and then it's Sami. And Sami right now is like the epitome of a chicken shit heel.
Yes.
And he's not even trying to be a chicken shit heel. He just takes the L for them right now. And the other night, Terrence and CJ were laughing because they were like, when we were out at the distillery, they were like, this right here is like the new Nation of Domination, talking about the three of us, right? And they're like, you get to be Owen Hart. And I'm like, so I'm the Nugget. Thanks. I am not a Nugget, And then they said, well, I guess we could be the Bloodline, and then you're Sami Zayn. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. I'll take that.
You don't want to be a Nugget.
I'm not going to be a Nugget, but even though my head kind of looks like a potato, like a peeled potato. You look like an actual potato. I look like a peeled potato.
Oh, well, okay. Thanks for that.
I mean, hey.
Yeah, you when you got on your, what was it, Facebook said the first time you shaved your head, but I was like, you can't really tell.
No, I mean, there is nothing up there right now. And
there's nothing up there before you shaved it.
No. Dude, so interestingly enough, it's already back to the peach fuzz because of how fast my hair grows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say how fast my hair grows, because my hair's so light, you don't see it until it actually is like 1/4 of an inch long. And then it's like, okay, fine. Like it'll still look like this at 1/4 inch, but yet you can feel it and it feels like peach fuzz, and right now, like yesterday, it felt like sandpaper. Today, it feels like it feels like it's one of those things that you like. It's not quite scraping stuff now,
like a Brillo pad.
Not quite a Brillo pad. More like an Adobe. Like the Adobe thing.
Oh yeah.
More like that. So it's almost soft like a sponge, but yet it's still got some Brillo to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like it literally. I mean, I shaved my head Saturday, and it was the first time I used a Bic to shave my head. Now this thing's telling me that my internet connection's going out. So if I disappear, I apologize. But so we've been talking about NXT. AEW Dynamite last week was blood and guts.
There's a couple things, and I had shit pulled up. Where did it go?
So I will let you pull that up. I will give you guys a second. In the audience, what did anybody else watch NXT? Michael, did you watch NXT? Joe, or Joe, you haven't really talked about what's going on with you. So like how are things, man? Because like you and I talk off air, and like you were saying some stuff was going on in the personal life. So trust me, I know how that is.
All right, you ready or?
Randy Orton, he wasn't on there.
I said, are you ready or are we gonna?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
It kicked off with Orange Cassidy and Ethan Page. which was a better match than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be a good match. Again, this one, Cassidy wasn't all about the comedy. He actually wrestled. He did the comedy, but it wasn't as much. He didn't do a lot of the sloth wrestling style that he does.
You're absolutely right. And obviously we talked about Forbidden Door last week, but like him and Ospreay at Forbidden Door was, I would say it was a 4-star match.
Yes.
And this match with Ethan Page, I kind of do the same thing. I say that they really went above and beyond what these two guys should have been able to accomplish in the ring together. The thing I didn't, what I did really like about it was the fact that Dan Lambert came out and got the Best Friends kicked out at the beginning because they don't have a manager's license.
Yes.
And truth be told, just so everybody who's watching the show knows this, there are specific states in the country that if you have a manager, you do have to physically have a manager's license to be at their side during their events. Kentucky's one of those states. I think Nevada's one of those states. So lots of different states have that thing necessary. And the fact that Dan Lambert, who is a manager of wrestlers now, but also of MMA fighters, sits there and knows this fact, he was able to use that to his advantage and get the Best Friends, who, by the way, were in probably the worst garb I've ever seen.
The tie-dye shit.
Ever. And it was nice to see Chucky T finally back, by the way.
I thought they let him go or he wasn't with them anymore. Then he showed up. That was released. It was said that, he was one of the ones that wasn't with them under contract anymore. And then he shows up at Blood and Guts.
No, I think he's still under contract. I just think that they were doing the Roppongi Vice thing to really kind of push Forbidden Door. Because obviously Trent Beretta and what's his face with the eye patch? Why can I never remember his name?
Rocky Romero.
Rocky Romero. Yeah, thank you for that. Wow. Literally, this is my first drink, so it's not like I'm like last week. Hey, I lost a friend last week. In fact, this weekend, Sunday, I have to. I'm going out to actually celebrate his life, and I'm not a fan of I love celebrating the lives. I hate funerals.
Yeah,
and everybody should hate funerals, by the way, unless you're a fucking vampire. But anyway, so. You're absolutely right about that match. The Orange Cassidy, to say it didn't have those comedy elements, it absolutely did.
It did, but not as much as usual.
Because when Dan Lambert brought out the thing of orange juice,
that was priceless.
And he took it
and drank it.
And he drank it.
And then he spit it in his face.
And then he spit it in his face. It was it was great. It was great. And it was like a 20-minute match.
Yeah.
They gave them time to do what they do what they can do. And what it showed me, okay, at this point, I believe Orange Cassidy is a top-tier talent in AEW. Obviously, Jericho sees it. Obviously, Kenny Omega saw it because they both went in feuds with him. And then he got hurt. So he was gone for a while. But since he's returned, he's been full steam ahead. And
so do you believe they'll put the title on him yet? I know for a while you didn't think so.
Dude, titles in AEW just don't change hands. Okay, the TNT title or TBS title or whatever they're calling the men's version of it, that one changes hands every so often, but it's going to be Wardlow's. They're just going to lead to Wardlow beating Scorpio Sky. He's going to hold that belt. And Wardlow's probably going to really give that belt some prestige because they've really put their money behind Wardlow.
Yeah.
At the same time, this championship that they gave Pac, I don't know what they plan on doing with that. Is that going to be the title that changes hands all the time, like the Cruiserweight title in WCW? Because that's what it feels like.
I don't know. It almost feels like they're trying to build it because they know that that TNT title does change hands so much, that might be a title that they put on to elevate people. That doesn't make any sense though, because Pop Riddle isn't going to be elevated. I'm almost wondering though, is it going to? Because I thought that the TNT title. You remember back in the day in WCW NWA, if you had that US strap, you were the number one contender. You were next in line, pretty much. So I thought they were going to do that with the TNT title. That doesn't seem to be. So maybe they'll do that with this new title.
I don't think they'll do that with the new title. I don't think that. I think that title. That title is the let's keep certain people happy title. And unfortunately, I think that's what the TNT title was supposed to be. And then they realized, wow, we have a really big roster. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another singles title introduced.
I think the next one probably a trios title.
So you're right. But I think that when all is said and done, I think that there's going to be 4 singles men's titles. There's going to be the tag team titles, and there's going to be, because they got so many people.
Let's see. For a while there, WWE had the same thing. They had the lightweight, they had the European, they had the Intercontinental.
Well, at this point, the WWE has 4 singles men's titles, although one of them right now is on a woman, the 24/7 title.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're right. Well, I guess it was 5 back then because it was Universal and WWE Championship, and then it was Intercontinental and United States Championship and the 24/7 champion. So I mean, like, but when you have 7 hours of programming a week, you can have that many titles. You can have a title an hour.
Let's see. AEW does just a lot, but they only have 3 on TV. The rest of them they got Dark and they got Elevation on YouTube. So they do have all that.
So you know what, they should have a Dark championship,
or move one of those TV championships to Dark.
Well, I would sit there and say that as if you're the Dark champion for as long as blah blah blah, you'd obviously start showing up on Dynamite, right? So at that point, you relinquish the title and then you don't ever wrestle on Dark again.
You know what I want to see? And I like when, because Impact was the only one I saw do it. And I like the idea. I don't know if you didn't watch TNA, did you? Do you remember Option C?
Oh, yeah.
I want to see a company
do you remember who started Option C?
Aries.
With his package.
Yes, that's right. So you did used to watch TNA. So I would like to see them doing Option C.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that you
get the Dark can do like an Option C.
And you would go for the All Atlantic title or whatever the hell they're calling that shit.
And that way you can relinquish that title. You're giving that title up to move up and go for
and then they do a tournament on Dark for the title again. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think that would be a way to enhance AEW Dark, but it would also be a way to enhance talent. Like
or you could do like, because I play the WWE 2K, right? So I do the my rise where I make my character So say you're on NXT and they give you, okay, we're doing a shakeup. You want to go to Raw or SmackDown? Well, whatever show you're on, if you're a champion, you gotta give that shit up before you go to. So if I was an NXT champ, they're like, "Do you want to go to Raw or SmackDown?" I'm like, "Fuck, I'm NXT champ." So I said,
it's the Black and Gold brand on 2K22. Like it's gonna be 2.0 on the new game.
Yeah, so I was like, but yeah, they should do something like that. So if you change, so again, or that Dark, they can do that. Well, if you want to move up, you got to get rid of this title, which I thought they would have done. I think they did it with Asuka. She gave up the title, but somebody kept showing. Who was that? That kept showing up on Raw, and they were a champion. Was it
Kevin Owens?
Yes. So they didn't make him give it up
because he was NXT and United States champion at the same time.
Yeah. So that's that. So that was Orange Cassidy. I'm gonna try to Danhausen and FTR against the Acclaimed and the Gun Club. Now, the Acclaimed challenged Danhausen and told him that he did not have two friends in the back. And Danhausen came out and said, "Oh, the ass boys, they they challenged me and they said I didn't have any friends. So I got two guys who were, I don't know, they're pretty good at wrestling." And then FTR's music hit and that place went bananas.
It really did. And again,
I think they're pretty good.
It's interesting though, because like they've been playing that whole Danhausen with CM Punk thing, where CM Punk kept using the go to sleep, so he'd have to pay him $100 every time he used it. So backstage, you'd see CM Punk having that like interaction where he's paying him. At the same time, like FTR started coming out with CM Punk, and I mean, you're talking about the biggest babyface tag team there is right now. Like, there's RK Bro is the only tag team that actually like.
And I don't even know then, dude.
Well,
I love RK Bro.
Well, and right now specifically because Randy's out with an injury, if that music hit for RK Bro, it would outdo FTR.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're absolutely right. Like, there's no tag team in the world that's as over babyface wise as FTR right now. And they literally didn't change anything about them.
What about New Day?
No.
No? Okay.
No, not even close. New Day lost to Ridge Holland.
I'm talking about Pops. I'm talking about before crowds.
Lost to Ridge Holland, bro.
What if both the Rock and Sock Connection got back together?
Well, no shit. The Rock coming back by himself is going to get a better pop than anybody.
Or doom. You going to tell me what to wear? Break it down.
They can't. Triple H could end up having like
He's broken down. He broke it down.
It broke him down.
So FTR, so they went over. They went over because Bowens, who was hurt and injured and came down in a wheelchair, got up and tried to hit Danhausen with the crutch, missed, and hit one of the ass boys. He hit. I think this is when they broke up. He hit the ass boys. The ass boys got mad, got in Bowen's face, and they were getting ready to fight. And then Big Daddy Ass pushed his son down and left with the Acclaim.
How crazy is that? That the push that they're giving the ass boys is that their dad, who is a WWE Hall of Famer, is like, I don't want to be with you no more.
So is that gonna make them face now? Because the Acclaim, they kind of get face.
The Acclaim get pops, man.
So the ass boys become the faces, or do they push the Acclaim as faces and the ass boys as you took our daddy, and make them ass clowns, ass boys?
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly will say that like Billy Gunn with the Acclaimed is a better deal than Billy Gunn with his sons.
I don't know if I like scissor me, daddy-o.
Yeah, that whole scissor me thing can just stop. So, all right, blood and guts.
Wait, hold on. No, Jay Cargill.
No. Right. Like I said, blood and guts.
It was a pretty decent match, but she fucked her up. Blood and guts.
It's all right. I don't like the format.
All it is fucking war games.
Well, I know, but I hate it. Because it's, one team will have an advantage. There was one point where the bad guys had one more person in the ring than the good guys. And when I say the bad guys, I mean Jericho's team. And yet the three guys in there for Moxley's team were running roughshod and destroying them.
It's because Cesaro was in there, wasn't it? When that one was.
Well, Cesaro was the first one.
Yeah.
Moxley went in at number 3. Kingston went and it was like 6-on-6. Like,
yeah, Kingston. They saved Kingston and Jericho for last.
Well, it makes sense to save Jericho for last because he's a chicken shit heel. My favorite part of the match, though, straight up, was, well, 2 parts. Was when all of a sudden, like Moxley was just like running the one guy through the thumbtacks, like, and then when they went up onto the top of the steel cage, and Kingston has Jericho in his finish, and Cesaro ends up getting the win.
Yes.
And Eddie Kingston's just like, what the fuck do I have to do to get a win in this place? And I hate this guy, and he just took my win from me.
When he pulled out that rubbing alcohol,
Did he even use it?
No. And then the bunny, was it the bunny trying to push the bottle of like there's rubbing alcohol in the ring? Why was she trying to push another bottle?
That was Tay Conti, by the way, not the bunny. That was Tay Conti.
Tay Conti, sorry.
I was disappointed that they actually closed off the entire roof because I was hoping there was going to be a suicide dive or something. Tope suicida. I'm sorry. When we're talking AEW, it's a tope suicida, not a suicide dive.
What happened to, was it Ortiz or Santana? I just know all of a sudden he was down. I didn't see what made him go down.
So apparently it's a pretty bad knee injury.
So what happened, though?
I don't know. But in a match like that, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, though, there's also information out there that says that Santana and Ortiz can't stand each other anymore.
Yeah.
So how do they even stay in the same package?
About, oh, he wasn't on the roof with him. No, that bitch was probably still laying down in the ring. Hurt. So.
I also thought it was funny that when they all started climbing up to the roof, it was like, why are they all going up there? Like, why is the referee on the roof?
Because he had to call if it was a pinfall or submission, I guess.
I mean, he's tapping. The entire arena can see it.
Yeah. Call
the match, you know? Anyways. First time that Dynamite's been over 1 million viewers in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I think it's like the first time they've been over 1 million viewers since CM Punk got hurt. So obviously Tony Khan's going to go back to his Destruction Derby booking.
Oh God!
By the way, guys, I'm sorry that I'm sitting here chomping on goldfish. I just saw them. I can't stop eating these damn things. But anyway.
I was reading the blood and guessing if we missed anything. I think we pretty much
so far Claudio has been very well booked. You know, obviously he took the Zack Sabre Jr. match at Forbidden Door, and then took this match for the Blackpool Combat Club, and he, you know, sat there and actually gave Eddie Kingston some dap, but Eddie Kingston looked at him. Eddie Kingston looked at him and said something, and the rumor is that he said, "I can't get the fuck down."
Oh damn! The fuck?
Like he can't climb down the cage is kind of what he was saying.
Why?
I don't know, but that's kind of what the rumor was, is that Eddie Kingston didn't have a way to get down. So, but I really think that what we're going to find out Wednesday is Eddie Kingston's going to start pushing Claudio, because he's going to be like, you took my win away from me.
Probably, because they already start planting the seed that they hate each other.
Yeah, it's like these guys don't like each other, and it's like they've probably never wrestled each other.
And I think that was because Daniel's out. So I think that was supposed to be the the Bryan Danielson, and they're just going to push that off to Claudio in Kingston instead of Danielson in Kingston.
Yeah, we need to turn up the Claudio.
Yeah.
We need to turn it up.
We probably SmackDown and Money in the Bank at the same, because I think it was just leading up to that Rampage. Anything? I can't remember.
Was Hook on it?
He was. I can't remember what he did. He won, obviously. I mean, he won his fight.
All right. I know you want to get off here within the next 30 minutes or so. So let's blast through it. SmackDown, you ended up having Liv Morgan win out of a 6-woman tag team match, which shocked the hell out of me because typically when they win that match, they don't stand a chance of winning the next night, right? And we'll obviously talk about that here shortly. But what I thought was really weird was that they did what was the match that they did they did a battle royal with the men.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did a 6-woman tag team match with the women.
Right.
And I was like,
I don't know why.
Yeah, what's up with that? You know? And Riddle obviously won the Battle Royal, which to me really meant that I thought that he was going to win Money in the Bank. It kind of goes against what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
But then Liv Morgan won the tag team match, which kind of contradicted what I just said.
Right.
So I was kind of blown away by it. Like and I don't care about the whole Ronda Rousey versus Natalya thing. Like I thought that was garbage. I really thought Natalya was going to punt a baby a couple weeks ago. But like the only reason why they put Natalya in a match with Ronda is because they're good friends in real life, which means you know that Natalya is going to take good care of her in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that. All right. Now let's talk about it, Tino.
Mm-hmm. Started out with the ladies Money in the Bank match. And I was surprised.
Well, obviously, I think we were surprised by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all went with that classic booking theory of Liv won last night. There's no way she's going to win the match.
Mm-hmm.
But then she won the match.
Yes.
And it had me sitting there going, okay, this is weird. You know, like is this Stephanie McMahon influence in the back? What is going on here? But
I think WWE is finally listening to the fans, but she's not going to hold that belt long.
So Bleacher Report sat there and posted one of their hot takes today, and they were like, Liv Morgan should hold that title through the rest of the year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Don't know if it'll happen. Unfortunately, I think it'll be a Nikki ASH thing where she'll lose it at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll lose it to Ronda.
Mm-hmm.
So Ronda will be like a 4-time champion, only losing 4 matches in her entire career.
Yeah, the female Brock.
Although Brock loses a lot more than he wins now. Ever since the head of the table became the head of the table.
Well, now, but before.
I mean, Brock still lost matches to like Triple H back in the day too. And he should have been destroying him. So, what else happened? Bianca versus...
No, hold on. The U.S. strap, Bobby in Theory. Which...
Bobby got to do this?
Yeah, Bobby had to do that. And he actually put up a good fight.
Who did? Theory?
Theory.
Theory's a good wrestler, man.
Yeah.
Remember when all of a sudden he was like getting all that TV time during the pandemic? Everybody's like, who is this kid?
Because McMahon had his eye on him.
Vince McMahon liked him then.
But remember, Drew was the chosen one at one time as well.
And it took 10 years.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley going over here, I'm completely fine with.
Yeah.
Except it kind of does nothing with him. He's a former 2-time world champion, and now all of a sudden he's just gonna have the U.S. title.
I think what they're doing, and I saw this on I forget, was it Bleacher Report or was something else, that they were like prank. They're like, they had a picture of Gunther and a picture of Bobby, and they're like,
Survivor Series?
Yeah. That's the only way I'm happy with that. And then
Yes,
he loses after Survivor Series.
And you know what? Let Gunther go over.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, when Gunther won that title, I was like, they might finally do something with the Intercontinental title. And they even had him come out last night for R-Truth.
And R-Truth kept trying to keep that out of his hand. And it was all, it's like it was just the rim. It was just and the wig was all flopping, and he's trying to put it back down. Oh, R-Truth makes me laugh. Bianca and Carmella.
Match was surprisingly better than it had any right to be.
Mm-hmm.
The right person went over.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Graves had one really, really good line in it, and I forget what it was. But it made me laugh pretty damn hard. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again.
He said, "What am I?" After she lost, he said, "What am I supposed to do with what is like a case of like some kind of wine he had bought?" It was funny. The match. Well, you still gonna go by that one?
No, go ahead.
Let's now talk about the match of the night, sir. The Usos versus the Street Profits.
Very beginning of it, they tease a breakup between the Street Profits.
I didn't see that.
It was something that they said.
Oh, they were saying that. Yeah, they were saying that they're not getting along backstage.
And the match, I mean, the match was great, though it ended kind of weird. Like, it went from being back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, to all of a sudden, like, Dawkins is out of the ring, and Montez is getting pinned, and Montez's shoulder is completely up, and the referee is, like, right there to see that and says 3.
They're trying to play it off to where, because it was Montez's right shoulder and the ref was on the left side looking at the left shoulder. But you need to see, you both, as a ref, we both know you're supposed to have both. So he's supposed to be looking at both shoulders.
You're supposed to put your hand under.
Yes. Well, apparently he didn't, because Montez's shoulder was up all day long. Like it wasn't even like it might have been up. No, his shit wasn't even touching the canvas.
Well, no, if it was touching the canvas, he deserved the 3 count.
Yeah.
But great match. And I worry about Angelo Dawkins' long-term career.
Why?
Because if anybody has Jannetty written all over him or Tucky written all over him, it's Angelo Dawkins.
So you think Montez is the Shawn Michaels?
Dude, Montez has put on 40 pounds of fucking muscle.
He is Cotton Diesel.
And it hasn't slowed him down, and it hasn't stopped him from jumping 12 feet in the air for a frog splash. Like, he's put it on in the right places, and he wants to be what his wife is.
Champion. Yeah.
And he's working towards it. But unfortunately, someone's got to be Jannetty.
Wouldn't you be surprised if it ended up being Montez Ford?
Yes, I'd be very surprised. But then again, I would have thought Tucky had a better chance than Otis long term.
Thank you. Ronda Rousey and Natalya.
Again, better match than it had any right to be.
Mhm.
But that's because Ronda would never sit there and just squash Natalya.
No.
Like, she would probably go off script and give Natalya a good match there. Obviously, the important part here is Natalya injured Ronda Rousey's leg. So Ronda Rousey ends up having to go up against Liv Morgan.
I think, and I don't know if you caught it. So, okay, Ronda wins, blah, 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 blah. She's standing up. Liv's music hits. They pan to Ronda, and you see Ronda go, shit.
Which, by the way,
Huh.
is exactly what should happen in that moment.
Mhm.
Like I get the super ballsy person that wants to sit there and go, I'm going to take you on at this pay-per-view, and I want my Money in the Bank cash in, like Rob Van Dam did at One Night Stand. Totally get it. Totally makes sense in that. But otherwise, no. You can even be the biggest baby face and you still take advantage of your contract terms.
And she did.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, now it means that I don't think we're as close to a WWE cash in for the men's side as I originally thought.
But we are. Did you watch? Did you fell asleep on Raw last night?
I did, but he said after their match he's going to come down.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but we're going to go ahead and talk about that match right now.
Yeah.
7 men already in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
They didn't even explain. They didn't even explain why, how.
They said it was Vegas and they were going to change the odds in favor of the house, which, by the way, does explain it. Yeah.
Got it. I didn't even catch that. You're right. I didn't catch that.
Exactly what they said, and it makes total sense based on the character. However, I find it really interesting that Vince keeps showing up on these shows and he's no longer with Theory.
Yeah.
Handpicked by Mr. McMahon, but now Mr. McMahon doesn't even want to be in the same room with me.
That you and I both said leading up to this pay-per-view that was going to be bro. So why? And I don't think he'll cash. I don't think he'll. I think he's gonna. It's not gonna be a successful cash in when he does it. So it's a waste. It's a waste, unless they do like an Otis and he wrestles somebody. Like if he wrestles
John Cena,
either wrestles John Cena for it or fucking wrestle Riddle for it.
Well, obviously they're moving on to Seth Rollins versus Riddle,
Which I don't get.
It kind of makes sense. Like, Riddle now is one of your top 3 baby faces. Seth is one of your top 3 heels. Kind of makes sense that they go that route. Okay. Especially if you're not going to have Riddle in the world title picture because Randy's not going to be around.
That's true. And you gotta give Seth something to do until Cody comes back.
I hate the fact that they're just going to waste more of that, but
yeah.
So you're right, but it's like, you know, because right now you got Edge probably going up against Finn Balor at SummerSlam.
Those vignettes, everybody was thinking it's Bray Wyatt. It's Edge, and I know it's Edge because I've read somewhere like because they had the gold medal, all the people he's faced. But what sold it for me is I went back and watched it, and I noticed as he was walking to the license plate, I kept trying to catch it and pause it. The license plate was from Texas, and it said Latino Heat. And you know he had something with Eddie Guerrero. So I think it's all his old, and then the candles and everything's going back to the Brood. So I think that's going to be Edge.
Yeah, I think it's going to be remembering where he was and you know suddenly being uber babyface again. You know.
You think he'll come back to On This Day?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he can't use the other music now.
Yeah.
So Theory at this point, I could see all of a sudden John Cena saying, hey, you want a match against me? How about you put that Money in the Bank contract up And then John Cena can show up whenever he wants and take on Roman Reigns, right? But the rumor is now that they're going to hold off Theory and John Cena until WrestleMania because they now think that that's a bigger match than it originally was supposed to be.
If they keep pushing Theory like they're pushing him, I can see that.
The good news about the Theory thing is that they can still play up my exact idea of how Roman only loses one of the belts. So, Roman versus Brock at SummerSlam is undisputed championship.
Right.
Both belts at SummerSlam. Brock beats him down, beats the crap out of him, but loses. Either gets rolled up, disqualified, whatever the case might be. Theory comes running down to the ring. Theory sits there, looks at Brock, and Brock sits there and just like I could picture Brock F5ing him on top of Roman Reigns and causing a 1-2-3.
Okay.
That sets up like Theory versus Brock at WrestleMania kind of thing, right? But I could see that happening. And then, Monday night, they're sitting there, Theory's thinking that he's the double champ, and Paul Heyman comes out. And Paul Heyman sits there and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I have the distinct pleasure of taking one of those title belts away from Mr. Theory tonight because the Money in the Bank gives you a contract for one."
But now it's unified. It's unified, so it is
two
one.
belts.
Unified.
2 belts.
Okay, but unified, then you'll get the 2 belts because it's still considered one championship.
No, because they had so they said you get to go after the championship of your choice, and again, this is where the Jew in Paul Heyman is going to come out and he'll be like, "I talked to my father, the lawyer," or whatever, and be able to sit there and split those titles back off into 2 separate titles. So Roman Reigns gets to continue being the heel champion that he is, which would be even better because now he's using lawyers and shit to keep his title, which makes him even more of a heel character.
So he'd do the same thing then. So if the Street Profits did come back and beat the Usos, you think he would try to do the same thing?
No, I think at that point you've played your card. And Adam Pearce comes out and goes, "Mr. Heyman, no, sir. You got away with that once. This time, we're going to put the record straight, and it's for this title or the undisputed tag team title." So I think it's a one-time deal.
Okay.
But it's totally the type of shyster shit that he would do.
Yeah.
So there you go. Money in the Bank grade. What would you grade the pay-per-view?
I give it a B, a solid B.
I think it was a solid B, but I hated the end. I hated that men's final match.
Jerry won.
Yeah.
It didn't make it didn't make any sense.
So I am all for card is subject to change if there's an injury or something else. But card is subject to change just because Vince McMahon, for like the 3rd straight year, wants to just put someone else in the Money in the Bank match. Go fuck yourself. Theory never fought to get into that match. Everybody else did.
Yep.
So that's how I feel about that. And that's all I have to say about that.
I think the one thing I do want to say about Raw, the Raw was a good show, but we already talked about it earlier today. I sent you I texted you the thing, and we all know, and it's the end of Raw when they had the no holds barred match with Asuka and Becky, and at the end of the match, we all know that
she got inappropriate.
Yeah, so we we know that at the end of the match, if it's a bad match like that, they do the to squeeze to make sure everybody's okay. So at the end, it sees Becky put Asuka through the table, and she lands on it. No, she manhandle
slams her
through the table.
Throws the arm over.
She rolls over and she squeezes Asuka's side. Well, Asuka's like this, and she just reaches up and honk honk grabs Becky's boob. Honk honk to let her notice. I'm like, did I just see that? And I rewound that and rewound that. Like,
there literally is a 7-second video on Twitter of that, and I retweeted it. So anybody that wants to go look at it, at Potchak on Twitter, you can see that video.
And it just made me laugh because I know they're just making sure they're okay, and I realized that's off the way that they were positioned. Asuka probably didn't mean to grab her boob; she meant to just reach up, but it was just funny. She just happened to grab her boob and go, real quick to let her know she was all right.
That was a heck of a match.
God, it was a heck of a match. It was awesome. God, it was a good match. My favorite. I like the spot where she brought in the umbrella. You thought she was going to use it as a kendo, and she went to go do the miss, and Becky opened the umbrella to stop the miss from going in the face. I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty creative. I like that.
There were a lot of elements in Raw that were questionable, like the idea of Theory going up against Bobby Lashley again. Doesn't need to. He's got money in the bank now. Got other things to worry about.
But I think they're showing that his arrogant side. So, because again, I'm going to win my title back and I'm going to cash in and walk out, you know.
I'll be the youngest 2-time United States champion.
Yeah. So it makes sense. It fits that arrogant character that he is.
Obviously you've got Riddle and Seth now starting a little thing. You've got
he RKO'd his ass out of it. That was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That hot dog eating contest. Where Otis like, I don't feel good. You knew what it was going to end up happening. You knew. But it still didn't. I still laughed.
It's July 4th. You get to do that.
Yeah.
So overall, Raw was a pretty good show. I fell asleep. So, and with my sleep apnea, anytime I can fall asleep, I'm going to fall asleep. So
when does your machine come?
I get fitted for it on Thursday.
Oh, that's right.
So hopefully I get it before San Diego.
Nice.
Because I'd love to be able to get a good night's sleep while I'm out in San Diego. Couple little notes. Ric Flair's final match now has a referee, Mike Chioda.
What's his name's son retired? Hebner, Brian Hebner. He last Thursday, was it? No, it was last. Whenever they did their pay-per-view for Impact Plus, whatever match he refereed was the last. No, I'll take that back. It was Thursday because it was Frankie Kazarian against Chris Sabin. And,
isn't that funny that Frankie Kazarian's all over Impact now? Like it's like a trade-off. Like he's not showing up on AEW right now.
Well, that match was.
We didn't even talk about that.
What?
Dark Luchasaurus, man.
Oh God. I think what disturbed me more about it was the program where, not the program, but the promo where Kristen pretty much talks shit about
your mom wants me to be your dad, but your dad is dead.
I was like,
dude, I'm gonna tell you, they needed someone to take MJF's spot. And I like how Christian Cage is letting the little gray in his hair come out and everything, and he's wearing the turtleneck again, and he's like, he's just turtlenecked up, and like he's just like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this. And
I was like, take MJF's spot, but
because I bet
he hasn't been dead that long. That's still kind of soon. And I'm sure Jungle Boy had to give the okay for them.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like that first promo was all about like him coming out saying all that stuff and having Luchasaurus come out and like confront him and look at him, you know, and then all of a sudden him be like, "But I love you like a son. I love you like a son."
Yeah.
And Luchasaurus leaves with him. And then this week, Luchasaurus comes out as Dark Luchasaurus. New music.
Everything.
Christian Cage wearing that black turtleneck. You know, like just, but like I said, letting the gray come out in his hair a little bit more, and you know, just trying to look like that you know, silver fox, if you will, like that, like the one that's, you know, is gonna push the buttons. He looks like an evil genius. He acts like an evil genius. And I love the fact that they go back to the point that it's, I let you think that I was trying to help you.
Yes.
A year ago, you eliminated me from having a chance at the world championship.
And you forgot all about that till he said that.
And you know that when they were like, well, how do we really put this together? Christian was like, well, he eliminated me from the thing, like, you know, a year ago. We just go back to that. As what? And then someone probably was like, but did he? You know, like,
yeah.
You know, it goes back to like that time that they did the CM Punk versus Randy Orton feud, and you know, he's like, don't you remember when Legacy like totally like beat the shit out of me backstage? That's why I'm the best in the world now. That's why I did this, so that I could take you out, Randy Orton. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, except when you hear Christian do it with no filter, with no cutoff switch, no kill switch, if you will.
Yeah, it was good.
But him coming out and having Luchasaurus's music and him being like, come here. Now go down to that ring and you take care of business. You know, like I was almost waiting for Luchasaurus's mask to come off and him have like a dark mask instead, you know, underneath.
Oh, yeah, that would have been perfect.
Oh, it wouldn't have been as good as Sting taking off the Sting mask to reveal Sting.
So stupid.
Anyway.
So stupid.
All right. I Tino, I'm about tapped out.
Yeah.
I don't think I got anything else. Guys in the audience, if you got anything that you want to say, I didn't notice a Chris Barrett appearance tonight.
I know. Maybe we wore him out last week when we let him on the show.
I didn't even remember that we let him on the show. I went back and watched it. And I'm like,
God. I was like, we should let him on the show. I don't think you do it. You're like, okay, I'll send it to him. I'm like, you sent one to him. You sent one to Katie. I'm like, Katie's not coming on the show.
No, when we were talking about wrestling, she wasn't coming on the show. But all right. I do want to remind everybody that now my Twitch stream, I am starting to put artwork on there. It's Rob Potsy Pochak. So by all means, come reach out to that.
So
Tino,
what's the story? So next week you're not going to be here. Are we going to do one while you're in the Comic-Con the following week?
So I plan on live streaming different things from Comic-Con anyway, as long as I can get a good internet signal. But that Tuesday night, the only reason why I would not be available for a show is if I'm out at dinner with like coworkers. So
we might be in a 2-week hiatus, folks.
We may be off the air for 2 weeks. I hope not. But keep up with my Twitter page or the Potsy and Tino Facebook page, since we really don't post on Twitter, and Tino hasn't posted any TikToks on the Potsy and Tino TikTok page. So keep up with either of those, and we'll keep you informed. But as of right now, we probably are on a 2-week hiatus. If not, I mean, like, I would love to do a show next week. I don't know if I'll do one just hosting by myself, because I really don't like talking to myself on these things. Yeah. So
I don't think they believe that. Nobody on this program believes that. Nobody on this program believes
I
that.
don't like talking. No, I don't like talking to myself, dude. Like if you guys have watched any of my Twitch streams, like just recently, I was posting that I was playing the Quarry. I don't do a lot of talking when I'm on the Twitch stream. Like I'm playing the video game and I'm just like, and every so often I'll laugh or something, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I've got an audience. I should probably sit there and say why I'm laughing. And just like when Ward and I first came up with the idea of Potsy and the Turd, which obviously morphed into Potsy and Tino. The whole idea was to take our regular conversations that we were going to have anyway, and this is what you and I still do to this day. Take our regular conversations, and anytime we're going to talk about anything that sounds like it's insider terminology or whatever, explain what that insider terminology means so that anybody who's listening in for the first time can kind of get where we're talking, what we're talking about or whatever. But ultimately, we're really just the two of us having our regular conversation. In fact, the thing that really worked well is when you and I formatted this show as the "What's Up with You" segment.
Yes,
it really did become. Tino and I are going to talk to each other about what's going on for the past week. Do you have a dog on your table behind you?
No, that's our new kitten. She's fucking. That's why I told her to calm the fuck down. She's got the zoomies. She is all over the fucking place. If I try to grab her right now, she'll run because she's got the zoomies.
Yeah. You had to get another cat. Now I can't go over your house.
You didn't come when we didn't have the cat. We didn't have a cat for like 6 months. Try to get you to come. Oh, dude, there's still dander in the air.
It takes 2 years for the dander to go away. Should have gotten another dog.
Whatever.
Anyways, Tino, why don't you take us out?
All right, folks. So thanks for watching. You can check this fool out on the Twitter machine. He is Rob at Potcheck. I'm HoodieFan91. You can check him out on God, he's got so many. On Insta, he is Rob Potsy Potcheck. On Insta, I'm SC Tino. On the
hold on.
You also have Rob Potsy Potcheck.
Well, no, I have Rob Potcheck, which you did not say.
Rob Potcheck.
Rob Potsy Potcheck, which is also my Twitch and my TikTok.
Yep.
Okay.
And I said that's Instagram. You can check us out on the Twitter. We're Potsy and Tino. Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show. You can check us out here each and every week on the Pots and Pans Network.
YouTube.com/Rob Potsy Potcheck or Rob Potcheck. Yeah, see, now I'm even doing it. Thanks.
There you go. Well, that's your name. We're going to say thanks once again to Adam's House Cats for our theme song, which is the wrestling song. You can get that on I'm not done yet. You can get that on iTunes. That is 99 cents, 99. Please subscribe, thumbs up, like, and most importantly, my catchphrase, buy our shit. So until we meet again, possibly 2 weeks from now, the Macho Man is up above and he is. Thank you. Yeah, dig it. We need to have a Macho Man song.